the moment you were meant to see. Have you ever wondered why certain moments feel destined? Why this exact video appeared in your feed at precisely this instant? Out of millions of pieces of content flooding the internet every second, your eyes landed here. This isn't coincidence. This is alignment. You've passed the first test that most people fail without even realizing it exists. The fact that you're still here, reading, listening, and staying present, means something profound is already shifting within your consciousness. Most people would have clicked away by now, distracted by the next shiny object, the next dopamine hit, the next easy escape from reality. But not you. You're different. You sense there's something deeper here, something that could change everything. Right now, your nervous system is responding in ways you might not consciously detect. Your heart rate has subtly shifted. Your breathing has slowed and deepened. Somewhere inside, dormant neural pathways are firing in new patterns. This isn't just motivational content. This is a shift in your state of awareness, a recalibration of focus, an adjustment to the field of possibilities surrounding you, happening in real time. Scientists studying peak performance have discovered that transformation rarely starts with giant leaps. It begins with micro shifts in awareness. Small, almost invisible changes in perception create ripple effects that alter the course of a life. And right now, by staying here, you've already begun that process. You're about to uncover insights about consciousness, behavior patterns, and choice-making that most people never see until decades have passed. Here's something startling. Neuroscientists have found that humans overlook the majority of life-altering possibilities simply because discomfort triggers an automatic avoidance reflex. Your brain, trying to protect you, often ends up keeping you stuck. Even more fascinating, your unconscious mind begins preparing for decisions several seconds before you're even aware you've made them. That means, as you take in these words, part of you has already chosen whether you'll see this through to the end, whether you'll take action, and whether this moment will become a turning point. Beneath all of that, there's another layer, the way attention and focus influence what becomes real for you. Every moment you stay engaged here, you're shaping the potential paths ahead. You're deciding, intentionally or not, which doors will open and which will remain invisible. You're not just absorbing content. You're taking part in the creation of your next chapter. The energy you bring to this moment is changing how you'll approach the next one. When a message resonates with something deep inside you, your body responds. Your heart's energy shifts. You broadcast a different signal into the world around you, one that begins attracting opportunities, people, and circumstances aligned with that signal. That's why certain encounters feel meant to be. They're not random. They're the result of your state of mind and state of being meeting exactly what you're ready to receive. The fact that you are here now means your deeper self has already chosen to move toward transformation. Some part of you recognize this as necessary. Your higher self nudged you here. This is your own awareness calling out to itself, arranging the perfect circumstances for your next level of growth. You're not here to passively take in ideas. You are here to shift, to feel more deeply, to evolve more authentically. By the time you finish this journey, you will be able to see the invisible limits that have been holding you back, and you'll know how to step beyond them. That inner knowing urging you to keep going, that quiet voice saying, stay with this. This matters. That's the wiser part of you, the one that knows it's time. This is your moment. And from here, everything can change. Why time won't wait for you. Before we explore the transformation you're seeking, we have to face a simple truth. Right now, whether you acknowledge it or not, you're standing at a pivotal crossroads. Time does not wait for you. It doesn't pause for your fears, your doubts, your preparation, or your perfect timing. It moves forward relentlessly, carrying you with it whether you're ready or not. And here's the reality. At this very second, you're making choices. Some are small, almost invisible. Others are monumental. But each one shapes the path ahead. Every thought you think, every emotion you entertain, every action you take is like dropping a stone into a vast ocean of possibility. Ripples spread out farther than you can see. One direction leads toward expansion, toward bravery, growth, and the highest version of yourself you've always envisioned. This path is marked by courage, built on resilience, and illuminated by moments that make life truly worth living. It's the path of those who refuse to settle for mediocrity, the ones who demand more from themselves and from life. It's the hero's path. The other path? It leads to stagnation, to quiet disappointment, to the comfortable prison so many mistake for safety. It's lined with what-ifs and the ghosts of unlived dreams. Here's a truth most people avoid. Your destiny doesn't begin years from now. It doesn't wait until the stars align. It doesn't activate when you finally feel ready. It begins the moment you choose. Every time you delay, every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," you're making a choice. And that choice is building the reality you'll live in. Most people don't notice the walls of the prison they've been building until they find themselves trapped inside it, wondering how they got there. And the saddest part? Tomorrow never arrives. There's always another excuse, another reason to wait, another perfect moment just around the corner. But perfection is a lie. It's a trap that keeps people in a loop of preparation and hesitation. Researchers have a name for this, the preparation paradox. The more time people spend getting ready, the less likely they are to ever start. Your brain convinces you that the longer you prepare, the more successful you'll be. But in reality, the opposite is true. By the time you reach that mythical 90% certainty, the opportunity has often passed you by. Those who act at 70% certainty consistently outperform those who wait for perfection, because they move, they adapt, and they learn while others are still standing still. The world rewards momentum, not perfection. Action, not endless preparation. Every day you delay is a day when momentum works against you instead of for you. Think about it like this. If you started with just $1 and doubled it every day for 30 days, you'd end up with more than $1 billion. But if you waited just 10 days to start, you'd have a fraction of that, barely over $1 million. The cost of delay isn't small. It's exponential. And it's the same with your life. The skills you don't build, the opportunities you don't take, the relationships you don't start. Every one of them compounds in their absence, creating a life that feels smaller and more limited over time. You probably told yourself at some point, "I'll do it when I'm ready." But here's the uncomfortable truth. No one ever truly feels ready. The people who achieve extraordinary things weren't fearless when they began. They weren't perfectly prepared. They weren't certain of success. They acted anyway. They moved forward despite the fear, despite the uncertainty, despite the lack of guarantees. They knew something most people never learn. Readiness isn't a feeling. It's a decision. Growth is messy. It's uncomfortable. It demands that you leave behind the familiar, even when the familiar has become your prison. The version of you that got you here is not the same version that will take you where you want to go. To become who you're meant to be, you have to be willing to shed who you've been. Your ego will resist this. It will tell you stories about why you should wait, why you're not ready, why you need more time, more knowledge, more resources. But those are just stories. They're fear wearing a mask of logic. They're your brain's way of keeping you safe, which really means keeping you the same. Right now, your mind is weighing a choice. Do you keep reading and lean into this discomfort? Or do you retreat back to familiar distractions? That choice, as small as it seems, is the dividing line between those who dream and those who do. It's the fork in the road that will determine whether you look back on this moment as the turning point, or just another piece of content you scrolled past. You don't need cosmic permission. You don't need a sign from the universe. Although, if you've been waiting for one, the fact that you're still here is that sign. This is it. The perfect moment? It's not coming. The only moment you have is now. And now contains more possibility than any imagined someday. The voice that holds you back in the 5-second window. Before we dive into your next big move, we have to talk about that voice. You know the one. It whispers in your own tone. It sounds like your thoughts. It calls itself logic and common sense. But it's not. It's your internal critic, the constant narrator that has been with you for years, maybe decades. It claims to protect you, but its real job is to keep you small. That voice was built from the moments you were told to be realistic, from the times you tried something and failed, from criticism you absorbed before you knew how to reject it, from comparisons, judgments, and disappointments that taught you to shrink. It has become the filter you see life through, deciding which opportunities you notice, which dreams you dismiss, and which goals you pursue. It only knows the past, so it assumes the future will be exactly the same. And it's subtle. Sometimes it doesn't scream at you. It just plants doubt at the exact moment you're about to act. You've felt this before. You get a flash of inspiration to start something, to speak up, to reach out, to make a change. It's clear. It's exciting. And then the voice shows up. What if you fail? You're not ready. You don't have the time, the skills, the resources. It's probably not the right moment. That pause is all it takes for potential to vanish. Opportunities close in silence. And you convince yourself it was never really possible anyway. This is how most lives shrink, not from huge failures, but from tiny moments of hesitation. Neuroscientists have observed something important about this. From the instant you feel an impulse to act, you have just a few seconds, often around 5, before your brain kicks in with its protective, fear-based reasoning. This is where the 5-second rule comes in. The idea is simple. The moment you feel the urge to act on something important, you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you move. No hesitation, no bargaining, no waiting for fear to disappear. Those who use this window change their lives. They launch projects, have conversations, make moves, and break habits that have held them for years. Not because they are fearless, but because they act before fear takes over. The truth is, fear doesn't always show up as panic or dread. Sometimes it shows up wearing a suit and tie, disguised as practical thinking. It says things like, "The timing isn't right. You need more information. Let's be sensible about this." These phrases sound reasonable, but they're not wisdom. They're fear with good manners. The most successful people you know, they don't wait for confidence. They act, and confidence grows as a result of action. Every expert was once a beginner. Every master started as a disaster. And every breakthrough began with someone doing something they weren't ready for. Think about the greatest inventions and creations in history. The light bulb, the airplane, the personal computer. None of these began with total certainty. They began with people who acted anyway. Here's the truth. You can't learn to swim by reading about water. You can't learn to ride a bike by watching someone else pedal. And you can't build a new life by endlessly preparing for it. In real life, action comes first. Clarity comes later. That means you will never feel 100% ready. And that's exactly why you need to move when you feel even a flicker of inspiration. Waiting for that voice to disappear, you'll wait forever because it's part of your wiring. Your job isn't to eliminate it. It's to act despite it, to thank it for trying to protect you, and then move forward anyway. And here's the part most people never realize. Every time you act in that 5-second window, you're not just taking a small step, you're reshaping who you believe yourself to be. Because action doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes your identity. Everything you need already exists within. Most people spend their lives convinced they are missing something. They believe they need more talent, more time, more money, better circumstances, the right connections, or the perfect timing before they can finally begin. But here's the truth. Everything you need to take the next step already exists within you right now. You are not broken. You are not incomplete. You are not missing the essential ingredient for success. The abilities, the resilience, the courage, they're all already here. Maybe they've been buried under years of self-doubt, comparison, and conditioning. But they've never left you. Think about it. You've survived everything life has thrown at you so far. The days you thought would break you didn't. The nights you thought you couldn't make it through, you did. You've faced disappointments, losses, and challenges that would have stopped a weaker version of you. That's not weakness. That's proof of your strength. You have an undefeated track record of getting through your worst days. And here's the thing. Some of the most successful people in history started with far less than you have now. They didn't wait for ideal conditions. They worked with what they had, where they were, and they built momentum until the rest appeared. That's what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. It's not more resources, it's more resourcefulness. And resourcefulness starts with a choice. To stop waiting for the world to hand you permission and to start granting it to yourself. This is the shift from fear-based living to purpose-driven living. Fear-based living is all about avoiding pain, playing it safe, and staying in the familiar, even when the familiar is suffocating you. It's about protecting what you have instead of reaching for what you want. Purpose-driven living is different. It's about building something meaningful, creating value, and stepping into challenges that make you grow. It's about living in a way that leaves a mark, not just on your own life, but on the lives of others. When you move from fear to purpose, everything changes. Your decisions stop being about what's safe and start being about what's right. You stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what if this works? Think about what you've already overcome. The moments you thought were the end were actually the beginning of a new chapter. You've been through storms and still managed to move forward. That's not luck, that's strength. And if you've survived the things that were meant to destroy you, you can handle the things that are meant to grow you. You already have the raw material for the life you want. Your experiences, your lessons, your skills, your struggles, they've all shaped a perspective that is uniquely yours. There's no one else on earth with your exact combination of victories and scars. No one else with your exact way of seeing the world. That means you can create, contribute, and connect in ways no one else can. The world doesn't just want your contribution, it needs it. And if you don't step up and bring it forward, it will remain missing. But here's the trap. When you believe you're not ready, you keep searching outside yourself for answers. You look for someone to validate your dreams, to tell you it's okay to start, to hand you the perfect plan. That's why so many people stay stuck, because they never realize they're the ones holding the key. The key has been in your pocket the whole time. It's your ability to choose, to decide, to act despite not feeling ready. Every decision you make is a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. Every action, or inaction, shapes the reality you'll live in tomorrow. So the real question isn't whether you have what it takes. It's whether you'll choose to use it. Because the gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't made of missing pieces. It's made of unused ones. You already have the pieces. Now it's time to start putting them together. Decisive action, the ultimate life changer. Everything we've talked about so far, awareness, urgency, silencing the inner critic, trusting what's already inside you. It all comes down to one thing: action. Ideas without action are just daydreams. Knowledge without application is just entertainment. And yet, this is where most people stop. They get inspired, they feel motivated, they see what's possible, and then they do nothing. They slip back into the same routines, the same patterns, the same comfortable limitations. But you're not most people. You stayed with this message until now for a reason. You have something inside you that refuses to settle. The next step is simple, but it's not easy. You must take decisive action. That action doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be dramatic or risky. It just has to be real. It could be a phone call you've been avoiding, a conversation you've been postponing, a decision you've been overthinking, a habit you've been meaning to start or stop. The point is not to wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment is a myth. While you wait for just right, someone else is taking imperfect action and building the life you want. This is the fork in the road. You either act now, or you put it off again and risk never acting at all. Every day you hesitate is a day lost forever. Opportunities expire. Momentum fades. The future you want drifts further out of reach. So imagine this. 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, the version of you who took action today will look back with gratitude. They will thank you for pushing through the fear, for refusing to wait, for starting even when you didn't feel ready. But there's another version of you, the one who didn't take action. That version will look back on this exact moment with regret. They'll remember feeling this spark, this clarity, this possibility, and they'll remember letting it slip away. They'll still be living with the same limitations, maybe even deeper ones. The opportunities you have now may be gone. The window may never open the same way again. The choice between these two futures is being made right now. This isn't about frantic, desperate movement. It's about focused, intentional commitment. It's about deciding that today is the day things shift, even if it's in a small way at first. And here's the paradox. The moment you act, even in a tiny way, the world begins to shift with you. Resources appear. People show up. Paths reveal themselves that you couldn't see from where you were standing before. It's not magic. It's momentum. When you move, you change your position in the web of possibilities. You make yourself visible to opportunities that couldn't reach you before. So here's your challenge. Before today ends, take one action you've been resisting, something you've been putting off, something that matters. Don't wait until tomorrow. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait until the voice in your head disappears. Because the truth is it never will. The fear will always be there, and that's okay. You're not here to erase fear. You're here to move forward with it. This is your confirmation, not from fate, not from luck, not from the universe, but from yourself, from the part of you that knows exactly what you need to do next. You don't have to know the whole plan. You just have to take the first step. Like driving at night, you don't need to see the whole road to reach your destination. You only need to see far enough to keep moving. The rest will appear as you go. So choose. Choose courage over comfort. Choose action over hesitation. Choose now over later. Because later is the most dangerous word in the world. And when you look back on this day, you will either remember it as the moment everything began to change, or the moment you walked away and stayed the same. Make it the first one.